Morning everybody, how are we doing? We're back on one of the club lakes this morning. It's just hit 6 AM, so it's nice and early. Weather's looking fantastic at the minute. It's quite cool, it's cloudy, no one else is on the lake. And I'm going to be fishing for tench today. I've got a nice pot of Dendras. I'll be doing two methods. One's the method feeder, just down on the right on his margins. And the second, I'm going to make up like a sort of big Dendra kind of slightly popped up sort of reducer thing, using like a band, opening the band up, stuffing in loads of worms on like a bit of foam. And I'm chucking it out in front, probably towards the lily pads over there. Yeah, we're just doing a bit of tench fishing. There's a chance obviously the carp will come. Or maybe even the eels. If the eels are a bit active, I don't know, there are eels in this lake, which is fine, you know, it's not a problem. The only thing with that is obviously they can potentially attack obviously the bait, that sort of stuff. That's the thing when you're fishing with naturals, or you know live bait as it were. The other fish can kind of peck. I mean, obviously the roach, the rudd, that sort of stuff, but even the perch essentially can be pecking away at your worms. So we'll be changing that quite frequently, but it's fine. You know, I've got a whole pot. I'm not expecting to take any home. I'm happy to use them all. Like I was saying, 6 AM. Go on, England. Did you watch the game, guys? Once again, England at its finest, keeping us on the edge of our seats. And but again, we're through to hopefully Switzerland. I'm hoping Switzerland put Argentina to bed. If they do, I think we are on track for the final. But anyway, don't take it as gospel. Right, anyway, I'm going to get the rods set up. I'm going to get some. I'm just using some feed. I'm not using any pellets really. Just going to use a bit of feed with a hook bait, a bit of worm on the end. Just going to mix it up in a pot and then chuck it out. I think it's a Banoffee one, or I've got a Scopex, I think it is as well, Scopex powder. And as I say, I'm just going to make up these little worm rigs. Or I'm going to try to. I've got some foam. Snip a little bit of that off, just so it pops up off the bottom. Kind of Ronnie-esque, I suppose. Right, anyway, that's it. Let me get sorted out, boys and girls, and then we get cracking. 2 rods today. There's going to be a 10-foot feeder rod. This one's currently just got a what's that, hybrid feeder, just to stick in there, and then I'll be attaching let's see, so organised here, that bit of foam. So I'll just literally chop off a bit of foam, and I'll probably use these size 10. I think the Guru. I think I've got the sticker from. Yeah, the Guru. Really like these. Really good for these method feeders. Just need to stick a little. Normally I'd have a bead, quick change bead, which I do have. Does a good change to a speed bead, but it's fine. I can just put a little small anti-tangle sleeve on the end. That'll do the job just as well. You can actually buy the tiny ones. You can make your own. Just chuck that in there. So chop down a regular sized anti-tangle sleeve. Put that on your quick change swivel. Up goes the anti-tangle. Bob's your uncle. Right. Let's get some feed out. Get a little bit of bait out. Might just quickly chuck a little bit of pellet just to get them going. Splash in there. Water's nice and warm. Add to it. once it starts clumping, I'll put it through the riddle, get it nice and fine. We'll get a worm and hook and we'll get fishing, guys. So we have, I think that's a size 4 claw with a micro swivel with some a bit of floss going through a tiny bit of foam onto a whatever size ring that is, and then a band that's been folded around itself, knotted, which we'll then put onto our sort of feeder thing. We're going to stuff a load of worms in there for luck, and hopefully we'll close. He escaped, so he's alright, he can go on the hook. There we go. Let's see how that actually sits in the water. That might actually be floating on the surface, so yeah. No, it's good actually. That just about pops off the bottom, which is perfect. So let's get my target, which is I'll be just in front. Sorry, I'm seeing everything. I'm just talking away without even looking. Oh, nilling the goose poo. Right, so let's just get on the edge of that. A little bit further, and then let's lock it in. Yep, that's bang on. Just off enough where I can sort of head to the right. There's a little gap. But to be fair, if I'm feeding to the right, I probably want to make sure that's more right than left anyway, so that's good. See some feeding bubbles just to the left. Oh, sorry, just in front of the yeah, pretty much right there. I've been using these worms, they often, or quite often, snap and come off hooks and stuff. So reeling in and recasting is well, take a gamble. But whether or not it's the casting and hitting a clip and dropping that makes them come off, or is it you reeling them back in? I don't know. Anyway, we've recast. I'll give it another 15 minutes and I'll redo it if I have to. Right, I think I might have a roach. That's just beeps, but my line is now there. Why am I doing that? My line's that way. Which is weird considering I cast it over there, so that's a bit peculiar. Right. Let's get his rods in. Let's get his rods in and get over to the other swim. I can see a couple of different locations that have some feeding going on. And all these worms. Alright, that's not working, is it? Worms all wriggling out of my trap. Right, we'll go to the next swim and we get set up. Right, we brief swim. Just combined pellets. And the ground bait. So it's something a bit more substantial. And then, so I'm just, all I'm going to do again is just underarm it. Well, to be fair, I think down on the left is going to be a very good spot for margin fishing. Right, back in biz. I go. There's definitely some fizzing to the left side of those. Right, on target, just a bit short, so let's go there, hook you up, up you come, and hopefully they've stayed on the bloody knot. They have. Good. Right. There we go. Think. Oh, great. Wasn't even filming. Sorry. So I've redone the rods because well, the worms just don't seem to be doing it. So I've put a I'll show you now, 8mm match, mainline match tuna wafter onto the method feeder, and get that out of the sun, otherwise it's going to bust up the rubber. And then no, ISO fish fluoro, love the smell of these. ISO fish dumbbell wafter. Did get a take at last. Stop them going in for those reeds. This will be our first tench. Certainly feels like it, guys. Definitely, there we go, definitely a tench. Come here, come here pal, twist my new net for me. Come on, in you go. Thank you. I was just sitting there thinking to myself, Is it going to happen today? Are we going to get something? Well, we did. We finally did. Right. Give me a sec. Let me just let me get the off camera set up, and then we'll get them out. We'll have a little ganders at one of our tench in this water. Just shame it wasn't on the worm. Righty ho. Excuse me. Get my head in shot. A big head. Woo. Finally got one. Put my hands again. So that was the ISO fish wafter. Get it back out in a sec. Lovely little tench. Only a few pounds, but they are absolutely beautiful. Sorry. My hands are too big. Let me come in a bit. There we go. Lovely, absolutely stunning. So we finally got ourselves the tench, guys. Just not on the worm. But that's okay. That's okay. Right, let's get it back. Well, guess that's fishing, guys, isn't it? Eh? You come down to the bank with a plan, with an idea. You try your best. You probably waste 4 or 5 hours in doing so, and then you think, do you know what? Let's just change it up. Let's change it up because clearly that's not working. And excuse me. Lo and behold, we've got a tench within 15 minutes of me changing the bait, maybe a bit longer, versus again, what's the time? So I reckon we've probably got the rods in 6 o'clock. So yeah, look, 10 to 11. 10 to 11. So, you know, nearly 5 hours it took. Me being stubborn. Well, not stubborn, but, you know, I'm thinking to myself, I want to do a video, I want it to have a theme, I want to do tench fishing on worms, you know, on natural bait, something like that. So I go out, I pick up the worms, I bring on my kit, don't have much else with me, really. Luckily a few hook baits, which I always, you know, should always keep a couple of bits, guys, in reserve somewhere. Just tuck them up somewhere, even if you just leave them in the car. But yeah, luckily a couple of wafters, switched them out, and yeah, there we go, rod's gone. Now, of course, annoying thing is, had I left the worms on, would the rod have gone? I mean, the fact that I'm reeling in the rods and there's no worms on there probably means no, if I'm honest. But with a proper setup, again, I should have. I mean, I was too busy last night. I was watching football and doing stuff. So, oh, hello. I should have actually sat down and properly tried to make some rigs. Looked online for some advice and stuff, but I didn't. I just thought I'd wing it, come out, grabbed a bit of foam from my zig bag. I thought, yeah, it's fine. Well, you know, I got a little micro swivel, thread that through, put something on the end, put it down, blah blah blah, bish bash bosh. But no, didn't quite work out as well as I'd hoped. Tried doing some rubber bands, but again, they were too slack, too slick. Again, I think as well, me getting Dendra was probably a mistake. I should have got the bigger worms. Is it lobworms? I think lobworms. I should have got standard kind of big earthworm. Probably less likely to wiggle out of a tight gap. Anyway, c'est la vie, guys. So I guess the title of the video is going to be trying to fish with trying to fish for tench with worms. Failed. But hey, that's fishing, you know. Been able to adapt. Again, I think if you're not making videos like me, where I'm trying to actually do particular thing, you know, if I was just out fishing, I probably wouldn't have. I would have switched off of worms a lot sooner. The fact I'm trying to actually catch with worms, that's why I've had them on for so long, until I just thought, you know what, enough's enough. But you know, again, that's fishing. You've got to be ready to adapt, to move swims, to change hooks, rigs, baits if necessary, even a type of fishing, to zigs. You know, I didn't bring my zig stuff, but I am going to 100% get a day, or I've got to find. First of all, I've got to find a lake that will fish well with zigs, and then I'm going to be like 24 hours only zigs, and I'm just going to have to do it. I'm just going to push myself somewhere I can do 3 rods. I'll have 3 adjustable zigs, and then just keep playing with them all throughout the day and the night, and just see what happens. Because I have to learn and to use them and that sort of thing. It's one thing I've not ever caught on, is the zig rigs. This lake where I'm at now, I don't know, I think it's only about 6 to 8 foot deep, which is okay, but I don't think there's enough fish. I could probably go to one of our other club lakes where there's a better head of fish, and I think the water's about 10 foot. It's just picking the swim, because a lot of the fishing areas are it's one of those ones where you have to kind of cast to the opposite bank, you know. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but that's generally where you know the fish are. So I don't know, I'll have to have a think about it. Yeah, I definitely do want to start using zig rigs. Yeah, I'd like to catch a fish on a zig rig. I'm not fussed about the size of it, to be honest. As I say, I'm going Bayswater the 26th of July, 48 hours, so maybe I'm hoping my 2 boys are going to come, their share a swim, so maybe we'll get all of us on. Again, if it's like this, sunny, then yeah, with the pressure going up. Oh, hello, another beep on the feeder. Yeah, then I'll definitely think about it. I know that lake's good for zigs, 100%. I think it would be worth trying. If I can get the swims that I want on the day, then I will definitely do zigs, because ideally I'm trying to, in my head I'm thinking if I can get round to swim, I think it's 11 and 12. There's 12, you can kind of control the channel that leads into the shallows, and I know the fish come in and out of there all day, so if I can get that swim, I'd literally just chuck 2 or 3 zigs across that kind of entrance to the shallows. Obviously different heights are on adjustables. I'll have a new boat by then as well. I've invested, I say invested, it's not like you get returns, but I have ordered on a bait boat with funds from selling old bait boats from funds from the video that you guys have kindly supported. The little video, I've earned a few £100 out of that video, so again thank you everybody. So yeah, that's all been reinvested into my new bait boat, which probably you won't see until I go Bayswater, just because I'm kind of limited on the amount of lakes. If I can get to Cotton Farm with it, I will. Maybe I'll give it a little test run over there actually. But there we are. So yes, we've got a fish at last. I've probably got another few hours here. I can't stay too long. Kind of running out of bait, food, drink, water, that sort of stuff. Patience, I don't know. Anyway, it's great. At least we got one. That was the plan. The right rod keeps beeping. I probably went a little bit too close to the lilies, really. If we do get a carp take it and he goes straight into those lilies, then there's no chance of me getting him out. Anyway, but that's the problem for another time. If the alarm goes off, if the beeps. Anyway, hope you're all taking care, being careful of the heat. Hope you all watched the football, enjoyed the game. What do you think? Are we going to be able to beat Argentina? That is going to be a rock hard game for us to win. We have to be on much better form than we were playing Norway, because that was pretty sloppy actually. But anyway, let's not get into that. Football and politics are not for this video, really. Right, see you soon. I think I'm going to move back down to the original swim where I was. Just it's damn hot where we are, and sometimes you just got to think about yourself and not just the fish. Am I going to be better off, more comfortable sitting in the shade? Yes. Could it impede the chance of me catching a fish? Maybe. But will I regret it later on? Not really. So I'm going to move down back out of that to the original one I was in, that little bay, where I'm just going to be casting out in front. Again, feed a rod. Well, again, with this I still can cast to the lilies, so it's not the end of the world. It just means I'm sitting in the shade. So I'm going to move down. See you in a sec. Right everybody, it's kind of dead. Not much going on. Seeing a couple of signs, but I'm casting to these fish. They're not taking, so I'm just going to call it a day. We did get a tench. It was on the worm, but we did get one, and that's what counts. Oh, hang on. No, it did just pull off twice. I think we might be on something now. I reckon that's probably a little roach. I bet it's another roach. Just to sign off. Or it's a little tench. What is that? I think it's a roach. Oh, what is it? What's a little tench? What have we got? That's a... Hello, it's a little... It's a little carp. It's a tiny little thing. Let me bring him in. It's almost like a swinger. Blimey. Look at him. There we are, look at that. Almost like a carp hybrid, carp roach hybrid. Look, it's got a red tail. That is a funky fish. Some carp and roach or rudd? I don't know. But that's definitely got the look of a roach or a rudd, but it's a little carp. Look at him. That is crazy. Red tail, red fins, big carp head. Anyway, right, as I was saying, that's pretty much me done. So I'm call it a day. We just got some freaky little mutant fish there. We've got another tench. but nothing else. So we'll come back. I was kind of pressed for time today, really. But I'm gonna get packed up, get sorted out, get home, take the boys swimming, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. So guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and again, please comment. Let me know in the comments what do you want to see, guys. Come on, give me some ideas. Otherwise, again, I'm just gonna do the usual stuff, which is trying to think of things that don't always work, like fishing for tench with worms. Or I'll say wait for the end of the month and I'll see you at Bayswater. 48 hours, it's going to be a big one. See you soon, bye.